I still love Eren. This is a sexy chick. Armin should slap her and be like, shut up about Eren. Let's go and kill him or something. God damn it, woman. Hey, good. He's like, stupid, crazy woman, one-dimensional, flat as a rock. I hate you too, Mikasa. This should be his, like, I also hate you. I also hated you. That's good, Armin. Tell her you hate her. Everyone hates her. He's like, shut up, Rock. Shut up. Just everyone's gonna die, woman. I can truly feel his pain here, his frustration. I think this scene is great, though. This scene is really great. I feel by far the best part of the episode, right? So Armin is like, I also hate you, Mikasa. God damn it, yes. And like I said, right, in the reaction part, I genuinely do feel this is the part where if it's any character I can relate to, it's generally speaking, but if from a scene standpoint, it is this goddamn thing, right? Where Armin is like, I'm so tired of you, Mikasa, you're so one-dimensional, can you stop being in love with Eren? Eren's gonna kill the planet, okay? Eren's gonna kill the planet, he's gonna murder everyone, we have to stop him, and she's like, but I wanna have Eren's baby, so, you know, and it's just so boring too, because I saw this long Twitter thread last week, or last week, but the beginning of this week, and someone was defending how Mikasa great. All people defending goddamn Mikasa, right? It's all people trying to defend Mikasa, even though you can't defend a flat rock, right? But they always try to defend her, and it's like, oh, she's just a dynamic character. But how? How is she a dynamic character? This in here perfectly exemplifies how she's just a pointless, boring character. Because when Armin is like freaking out, he's like, God damn it, woman, stop being in love with Eren, or love with him, whatever. Please help me save the planet. Think about all their lives and shit. You know, he's trying to like talk to her, right? He's trying to communicate with her. And what does Mikasa do? She's like, Eren. He's like, okay, but this is my argument. She's like, Eren, right? This is literally the conversations that they're having, right? He's trying to talk to her, he's trying to argue with her, right? And her argument, she has no argument, right? She's not even trying to argue why they should either join Eren or what she do. She basically is like, Eren, right? Yeah, she can't basically say words. It's like her vocabulary is only Eren, right? And it's just a boring, insanely bad character Mikasa is. And I really think the problem of Mikasa is that I don't think this is written to be. I mean, I think this Yav actually wants her to be more than she is, right? Especially given if you know how the story ends, right? It was Mikasa, right? So I think easily, right, she's the worst written character to take a title, and this in here is perfect example for that again, right? Because she's basically not even reacting to Armin. She's like, oh, Eren, yeah, it's just so boring. She's not even trying to like, she's not even trying to counter argue him, right? She's not even trying really to like present her case to him. She's stuttering, Eren is my favorite color, right? It's just what she does, right? And as I said, I do think that the episode, in a way, is very slow-paced, because this scene here, yes, Armin is tired of her, and that's she hates her too, right? You know, of course. But, on the same time, this is basically the exact same scene we had 10 episodes ago. You said Armin now is getting angry at Mikasa, right? But his argument, and her lack of argument, is the exact same. They're basically just looping the exact same dialogue. The one difference is that Armin is like, shut the F up! Crazy woman, yeah! She's losing it at her, right? But that could have happened last time. So I do think it is the slow pace, because this is kind of like exact same dialogue again. Just, you know, he's more emotional. That's the only difference, right? He could have been that emotional the first time. And they said that 4 times something. They had this conversation almost, right? If you look at the Armin, I hate you see earlier with Eren and so on as well. So, yeah. That is for the episode and this general chapter. I think it's really weird, because we have the ending part is good in its way, but as I keep saying, the rumbling has become this like background design, right? So it's become like a landscape, right? I think that's really silly. So the rumbling in the whole episode, no one is actually like fighting Titans. No one is actually interacting with these Titans, right? It's just like we see Anne and Hitch having their date, right? They're running around, talking about their childhood, doing some cabadoning, right? Almost kissing each other, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're having their romance, right? And they're riding next to the Titans. And then we see Mikasa looking at the window. Oh, look at the Titans over there. And so on, yeah. At the Titans, that has become like a freaking background thing. Right? It's become like freaking the sun goes up and down, right? It's raining outside. Titans are like, it's a rain now, yeah. And I think it's really weird, because every character that we actually are following, the actual dialogue character, not the character who started dying, but every character that like Annie, Mikasa, Armin, you know, whatever, right? So on, Gabi and so on. They're all of them are washing the rain, basically, right? Oh, it's like raining outside. but no one is interacting with the rain. I feel it's really, really off, honestly. And that's why I keep saying that I don't think the ending is the worst thing ever. I think the ending is terrible, but it's not the worst thing ever. Or arguably it is. It's probably arguably the most disappointing ending ever, based on like how much better it was before it. But at the same time, as I kept saying when I read the manga, people were always like, oh, many people want to defend the manga up, saying that, oh, it's the perfect manga until the last chapter. But I think that's complete bullshit, right? I don't think this is the worst episode in my series. I don't think the episode is bad, but I don't think it's very good either, okay? I think it's very mid, okay? It's very, very mid. You can press this up whenever, but yeah, I think it's very mid. Because this is interaction, right? They're standing out, oh, it's raining outside. It's like 20 minutes of no one actually doing anything. It's 20 minutes dialogue. And I'm not saying it has to be action, but I'm just saying that they do something. It doesn't have to be a fight, but it's like no one's actually trying to do anything, basically. Until the very end, which is handy, right? Mikasa, as always, right? After Armin yells at her, tells her she's a moron, right? She just stands there. We see Floch coming in later. We see Floch seeing someone, he does stuff, right? And then we go back to Yin and Mikasa. Yin and Mikasa. And Mikasa is just like, oh, someone died. Is it Eren? No, Eren didn't die. Okay. Yin is like, ah, this guy's gonna kill everyone. And she's like, Eren? Is Eren dead? You know, it's just ridiculous, right? She comes up here, this is the scene after Floch kills someone, and she has like no reaction, right? She's like, oh, no, I'm dead. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how incredibly boring your character is. And unfortunately, you know, I love this thing though. This is where I feel the episode really starts, right? The last minute. But seriously, because this is what everyone's waiting for. Right? Everyone's waiting for them to say that, you know what? Eren is trying to kill the planet, right? So we, the Marley army, you know, Peak, she's an alien, but part of the Marley army, right? It's gonna meet, of course, Commander Hanshi, right? You know, crazy scientist, sexy girl, right? And these two babes are gonna be like, you know what? Let's freaking combine our powers and kill Eren together, right? We already had kind of Gabi and Mikasa also kind of, I read Mikasa, but Gabi and Armin, I guess. And also Mikasa, kind of. But Gabi and Armin say, oh, let's kill Eren, right? But this is really the moment where you feel that the military people, right, are like, yeah, let's combine our powers to stop that goddamn crazy guy, right? So I think it's a really good moment here, the last minute, when we finally get to combine. But it's a little bit what I mean, because the other character aren't doing much episode, right? Like, no one is trying to fix the problem, I feel. You know, Gab is like, I'm your sister now, and nothing really happens there, right? Mikasa, of course, Thomas and Rock and so on, yeah, nothing really happens, right? But this is the biggest moment, something's actually, I say, it's creating a new dynamic, right? Because now we're allying up, right? The two military forces here together to fight Eren. So this is actually by far the most important moment from the actual storyline, right? That now the Marley aliens are obviously gonna combine their side, you know, the Titans and also of course their military power to try to kill Eren, which is the most obvious solution, right? Because it's gonna genocide basically the whole planet. So why wouldn't they all fight it together? And they could even stretch that, and they could get the other countries too, right? They're not part of the alien Marley conflict, but they also should join. Like the Japanese country should join in, right? To also kill Eren, because it's gonna kill everyone. So why wouldn't they also join in? And also Mikasa is the princess for whatever goddamn reason. So why can't she just call up the Japanese to also help her fight Eren? You know, why is she the princess? No, the massive plot or whatever. But anyway, so I think this is the moment that is the most important episode, right? I guess Hitch and Annie's best friendship thing is a little bit of that too, right? They used to be on enemies and now they're friends too, and she's in love with Armin / Hitch, so one I suppose is also building up that they're all gonna team up together, right? But anyway, yeah, the most important scene by far. I agree with Floch, of course I don't. Because it's kind of like the whole idea of like, I didn't, you know, when they come for the communists, I didn't complain, they come for that, you know, it's kind of that idea, right? Floch is like, I mean, you know, genocide in his favor, right? So of course he's gonna be pro-genocide, because it's like, yeah, they're killing everyone else, it's also for me, right? So certainly you can understand why he's agreeing with it, right? But that being said, if you ignore the actual racism of Floch, right? If you ignore that, I think that Floch is, in one way, the most rational character, even though he's a fanatical, genocidal, racist maniac. Because, in a sense, right, he's actually pro-Eren, and he's gonna join Eren's Titan army. And, you know, isn't that playing for win? When everyone else is like, oh, we probably should stop Eren, except Mikasa is like, I wanna sit with Eren. But everyone else is like, we have to kill Eren, right? He's like, what if I join the army instead? And I said, of course, I help Eren kill everyone. and then I probably survive, right? And then they win. That in a way, arguably, right, it is the most rational conclusion that it's better joining the godlike army than being against it, right? Because the winning ratio of the super godlike army is probably higher than, you know, whatever outside, right? so in that sense, I mean, Floch's fanaticism can also be argued is just a rational conclusion. Like, well, you know, they're fighting for my people and I can join them, so yeah. Otherwise, of course, Floch is super insane. Arguably the most dislikable character in the whole anime, right? Incredibly douchebag character. But, you know, I think he actually makes a lot of sense, though. But the issue, though, and I think people love to compare, like, Gabi and Floch and so on. The issue, I feel, is that, from a writing standpoint, is that Floch is written to be a character you hate, right? You know what I mean? Mikasa and Gabi and so on are not written to be characters supposed to hate. But a lot of people still hate Gabi and Mikasa, right? And that's not the author intention. That's just like bad writing. Where Floch is like, he wants people to hate Floch, and you hate Floch. So I would say that Floch is easily better written than, for example, Mikasa, right, in the same episode. Because, yeah, you kind of hate Mikasa, but I don't think you're supposed to like feel sorry for her or whatever. But you don't. You're like, oh, she's so tiresome, like Armin. So that's I think a good difference too here. Like, you're supposed to hate this guy. He's a very hateable character, but that's the point. We're again Mikasa, you're like, oh god damn, because you ever shut up. But anyway, this episode, right? I feel again, for people that read the ending, right? What do you guys think? Because I really do think this is not only here, but I think around this point is where I would say the people really started to feel that this arc is crap, right? This arc has so many bad pacing arguments, nothing much happens, and as I mentioned again, I think it's so important to kind of leave that copium, right? The people have, right? The people are like, only the last chapter is bad, right? That is crazy talk, because there's so many. We had the grandfather paradox, right? With the Gish thing, we had this thing, this one. The after the time skip, we have these like more plot holes, this thing, that thing, this slow pacing and so on. This weird Armin Mikasa shit happens like for 4 times in a row, yeah. And of course Gabi being the main character and so on. We had all stuff happening, right? You can't just argue and say that only the last episode or chapter is bad. Doesn't make any goddamn sense, I think. I sound so bitter, but nobody does not understand it. Or I understand why people do the argument, because it's easier for them, right, to cope with the ending sucking, because they're like, oh, only the ending sucked, right? It's easier for them to cope from a mental standpoint. But I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of weirdness happening in so many episodes up to that point. But again, I'm not in that camp where I think that the ending was the worst thing ever. I'm not. But I do agree on from like where the top was, arguably, right? But of course I've seen other manga and animes that have way worse endings than this. Don't get me wrong, I have seen way worse endings than they had, certainly. But those storylines were of course worse before it. For example, King's Game. Holy shit, this King's Game. Arguably, I would say King's Game is the worst anime ever done, okay? That's my number one worst anime ever done, right? So King's Game's ending is actually probably not as bad as this ending, but still, horrible ending, right? But the thing is that King's Game is like a 0 out of 10 show every episode. So a 0 out of 10 show having a 0 out of 10 ending, you're like, yeah, what else would you expect, right? I think that's probably why the Titan has like a much more controversial thing, right? Because it went like poof, right? So I think that's also a thing too. But anyway, yeah, I think it's an episode that has some good parts and some. I think it's the pacing, right? It feels so weird that they're slowing down the pacing to like a bare minimum and keep looping these dialogue scenes between so many characters while it's like World War III is happening, but no one seems to actually care in a way that World War III until the last moment they were teaming up the allies, basically. Very weird story bit, I think. But anyway, guys, check this one. I think tomorrow I might do a reaction to the anime awards from Reddit, maybe. Sort it out. I already know what won, but people tweeted me what won, so I can spoil that because people are like, yeah, it's the best thing won, right? So I might make a video about that, I guess, tomorrow, because certainly it was the expected result, right? That the best anime last year actually did win in the anime awards, like popularity contest, right? Of course, you could argue that winning by popularity is an ad pop fallacy, but still, though, it's like the expected result, right? Best anime actually winning best popularity. I think it was more interesting what the jury wanted to win, the judges, which is complete crap anime. So maybe video about that tomorrow. Yeah, swear for that. Probably video about that tomorrow. It's interesting though, I feel, comparing stuff like, I'll say one thing here, the anime I watched on Reddit, what they did is that they had one pool, or like one collection of judge wins and voting wins. And that's interesting, because you can compare them, right? Where Crunchyroll is like, we combine the votes of the judge and people voting, right? And then we don't tell you what people actually voted for. And then this anime won, yeah. So Crunchyroll obviously lacks transparency. There's like, we can like combine everything here behind the counter, and then this anime didn't win for some reason. Yeah, like, that's obviously way more suspicious, yeah, sus. So that I would say that at least anime I watch on Reddit is much more like open, that these people did win, and yeah, they're actually splitting the votes apart, right, and showing you how it went. So that's much better. But of course, they're not done by people, right? They're not done by like evil corporations. But I see you guys, and have a great day.